The All-Star break is a thing of the past, so it is down the stretch run we go. Tonight, the Astros play game number 100, and they do so here in Orange County. The Big A in Anaheim, where the Astro fans ready to go to see their Houston Astros open this three-game series with the Los Angeles Angels, and they do so as a first-place team tonight with a 5-game lead on the Seattle Mariners in the American League West, with the Oakland Athletics 8 games off the pace. We welcome you to Houston Astros baseball alongside Jeff Blum. I'm Kevin Eschenfelder. I'll be sitting in for Todd Callis for the next few days. Give him a little R&R. Speaking of that, did you enjoy your time off on the All-Star break?
I absolutely did. I almost had as much fun as these guys on the field did over their All-Star break. Still having a lot of fun.
They had fun during the break, and it was good for the other players, too, to get some time away. But what a first, I can't say it was the first half, but the first pre-part of the season before the All-Star break, it was for the defending champs, 64-35 in the first place in the American League West, and basically did it in all facets of the game, whether it was offense, whether it was pitching and defense.
Yeah, it definitely has been pitching and defense. They got better over the offseason. I know we talk about it continually, but to be able to have a World Series championship team go out there and add to the rotation, and this is what you see. You see Garrett Cole and Verlander in there leading the way, and they are leading ERA, strikeouts, opponent batting average, doing a phenomenal job. But the offense is also clicking, too, here that we've seen in the last couple months.
All right, it's the Astros and the Los Angeles Angels. Game number 100 for Houston. Looking for some big moments, just like the ones we had last year after the All-Star break and beyond. Dallas Keuchel gets the ball. We'll set the starting lineups and check in with Julia Morales when we return to Anaheim in just a moment. Low fares, no hidden fees. That's transparency. By Arctic, overbuilt, not overpriced. And by Buick, visit your local Buick dealers today. A warm evening here in Southern California, as it's wont to be this time of year. Not nearly as tough as things back in Houston, but it is a warm Southern California evening, that is for sure, back here at the Big A in Anaheim, as the Astros and the Los Angeles Angels getting together for the 7th time this season. Let's check in with Julia Morales. Julia?
Hey, thanks, Kevin. Yeah, it's been a few days. Good to have Astros baseball back. And these guys, if you can believe it, actually missed each other, even though so many of them spent a lot of time over the break, including Alex Bregman, who's getting ready to go right now as we speak. He was a home run derby participant, and then, of course, becoming the All-Star Game MVP, but was at the ballpark early today, said he could not wait to get back with his teammates, get back in the clubhouse and get back to work, as they know they have 63 games now to win a division title. That's what it's about right now, before, of course, going on to win their ultimate goal. We saw lots of guys step up in that first half of the season, have great first halves. Who is going to step up in the second half? This is where the fun begins, as the guys tell me. So our Chevy Stroh poll today is going to allow you to join in on the fun. Let's predict the future a little bit to see who it is. It's going to be the Astros offensive MVP for the second half in those 63 games. Will it be one of these four, or will it be someone else? You can always write it in as well. Make sure to follow us on Twitter at ATT Sportsnet SW. You can vote, follow along. It's our pinned tweet, but it will be fun to see this all play out as they wrap up the regular season in 2018, guys.
Well, Los Angeles Angels take the field. Lance Bregman, there's a smile on his face, but that was a look of intensity before that. Time to get back to work.
Well, if you were this guy right here, wouldn't you be chomping at the bit to get right back in the box? The way this guy finished out that first half, winning June Player of the Month and then putting up great numbers in the All-Star Game and going to the Home Run Derby. The spotlight has been on him, and he has jumped in front of it and embraced it.
Astros starting lineup is presented by Southwest Airlines, and Bregman will step in immediately following George Springer, who leads it off. It'll be Altuve in the 3-hole. Yuli Gurriel with that 12-game hitting streak bats cleanup. Evan Gattis, Josh Reddick plays right field tonight. Marwin Gonzalez, he is at short once again. Max Stassi bats 8th. He is the catcher, and Kyle Tucker getting the start in left field. The rookie looking to get things going, playing in his first road game in the big leagues.
Tyler Skaggs, left-hander, going for the Anaheim Angels. 17 starts this season. He has 2 starts against the Houston Astros this season, but 7-5, 98 innings pitched, 105 strikeouts. He does a very good job at creating a pretty tough angle to try and attack against him. Likes to throw that fastball inside to those right-handers. Also has a pretty good changeup and slider down and in. The Astros do a very good job against left-handed pitching. They are second in all of baseball with 274 average and 37 home runs against left-handed pitching this season.
So it's not the second half of the season coming up, but it's the next 63 games remaining in the regular season. How about Blummer's keys to what's remaining here in the regular season of 2018?
Yeah, it's a sprint. Like Ash was saying, there were 99 games into this, so their starting rotation has stayed healthy. That is what they need to do. They need to maintain that health, because I feel if they maintain that healthiness, they're going to go out there and continue to put up phenomenal numbers. That guy right there, when are we going to see Carlos Correa? I know Julie will probably have something on him a little bit later as far as Carlos Correa, but the big acquisition last year was Justin Verlander. The Astros picked up Garrett Cole in the offseason. Is there somebody out there that can change the dynamic of this team and help propel the Astros to a possible back-to-back World Series championship?
Obviously, it's been a busy last few days as far as the trades are concerned. Manny Machado up the road making his debut with the Dodgers. Actually, that game in Milwaukee, but it's still made Dodger blue for the first time, and he got hit in his first at-bat as a Los Angeles Dodger. So George Springer steps in, and we are ready to go as he faces Tyler Skaggs, the 27-year-old from right here in the LA area, Santa Monica. He's outside for a ball. George, a 249 hitter, 15 home runs, 46 driven in. He has not had much success against the man he faces right now in Tyler Skaggs. 0 for his last 16. This one fouled back. 79 degrees, 53% humidity here in Anaheim.
The only reason I start to laugh is because, you know, Instagram, Twitter, everybody knew I was going on vacation. We came out west, and every friend of mine that was following me on either of those or knew I was coming into town immediately sent me either a thank you text or aired me out because the quote-unquote humidity out here in the West Coast. And I couldn't help but laugh because this is nothing compared to what fans are going through back home in Houston.
It is, it's a little warm back home. 1-1 to George Springer. Now, Skaggs is certainly a guy who has to work ahead, not unlike just about every other pitcher in baseball, but particularly him. And when he is spinning it, when he is getting his curveball over for strikes, he can be particularly tough. That's what the Astros saw all too well on April 23rd. 7 shutout innings, but there is a base hit to get this game started for George Springer, and he is on. Well, the struggles were well chronicled before the break, but came up with a couple of big knocks in the All-Star game, hoping to springboard that into these final 63 games, and a good way to start it.
MD Anderson strike zone gives you an idea of the pitches that he is seeing, and there's that spin that Ash is talking about. That one's staying over the middle part of the plate. But George Springer does a very good job of staying on it, keeping the hands back, and raking it into left field. And when we start to see that patience from George Springer, good things start to happen.
Now a runner on for who was one of the hottest hitters before the All-Star break, Alex Bregman. Breaking ball misses. It's 1-0. Bregman just absolutely on fire leading up to the break. The average up to 288 with the 20 home runs and 64 driven in. The numbers against the Angels not good, but that was for the most part earlier in the season. Now he's ahead 2-0.
Tell you what, it's going to be tough for Tyler Skaggs if he's not getting that lower portion of the zone. He likes to throw that fastball down, and in. 6'4", 6'5". Likes to create a good angle going down towards the hitter. But if he's forced to get up in the zone, expect the Astros to take advantage.
2-0 pitch is up. Springer broke halfway. Now he tries to get back, and he's out. Martin Maldonado came up throwing.
Put on a nice little swim move. But I'm not sure where George was going in a 2-0 count. That's not a hit and run type situation. And if you're going to run against a left-hander, usually you go on that first move. You can see the delay. Not sure what the choice was there, but he might have gotten back.
Whether or not he got him on the right thigh, that's going to be the question. They're going to take a look.
That is a move we've seen Javier Baez of the Chicago Cubs perfect. We've got a great look at it on our Supermo. First baseman Marte going for that lead arm, but he's safe. But George did a good job of pulling that right hand out of the way.
The swim move, like you said. Gabe Morales is the first base umpire.
No.
Crew chief is Jerry Meals, and they'll get on the headset whether or not George Springer is. Did he get around the tag or not?
That'll be interesting. That'd be a big play to get George off the bases early. They just showed the replay here at the Big A, and locals aren't happy about it. I think they have a feeling it might be overturned. Nothing says an electric start to the second half of the replay review, does it?
You weigh in one way or the other as far as the longer it takes, advantage one way or the other?
I think it leans a little more towards the call being, or standing. The call stands, because they can't find enough to overturn it. And that's always a big issue. And what we see and what they see in New York sometimes doesn't always match up.
Umpires, for some reason, they moved over. Oh, I said it was so Tyler Skaggs can throw some warm-up pitches. They didn't want to be directly behind Martin Maldonado. They're going to call him safe. George Springer got the hand in, just did beat the tag.
George will be allowed back in the dugout now. Some big home runs in that All-Star game. Charlie Morton got roughed up a little bit, but he had his boys pick him up.
That was so much fun to watch.
It was incredible.
Having fun in the All-Star game.
Only fitting it happens against the Dodgers.
And the interesting thing was Bregman barely had a chance to celebrate. Next thing you know, next pitch, Springer's going yard. Talk about stealing the moment. So Springer, who led off with a single, he's at first base. Overturn call, he'll be there, and it's 3 balls and 1 strike. Good hitters count to a very good hitter right now. Bregman reaching base in 22 consecutive games. On base percentage of .455 during that stretch. Make it 23 consecutive. 2 on, nobody out for Jose Altuve.
Making Skaggs work early in this game. Last time out, Skaggs faced the Seattle Mariners, and he ended up going 6 innings, only throwing 80 pitches. But he gave up that 1 earned run in that game against Seattle in the first inning.
His last 7 starts, his ERA is below 2, 188. He missed a start a couple of weeks ago in early July with a hamstring problem. But he has really pitched well. As I said, 7 shutout innings at Minute Maid Park on April 23rd. Altuve down to the count 0-1. Jose second in the league with a .332 average. 9 homers, 44 driven in. A .350 career hitter against the Angels. With 2 runners on, the 0-1. Evens the count at 1-1.
Good time for us to remind you that we have StatCast AI powered by AWS, and you get a good idea of what Altuve is working with, having George out there at second base after being called safe on the review. Alex Bregman after his walk at first base, and the Astros threatening early.
Jose's hitting 11 out of his last 12 games. Had his 11-game hitting streak snapped on Sunday against the Tigers. Facing the left-hander Tyler Skaggs. In there for a strike. Leads the league in hits.
All those home runs in the All-Star game, and Jose Altuve was happy with just a simple base hit.
Called for the ball. It's his first one as a 6-time All-Star. Firm line drive right over the second baseman's head. There's a ground ball up the middle. That'll get through. Springer being waved around third. The throw from Trout. And the Astros lead it 1-0. Clutch knock from Jose Altuve drives in the first run of the night.
I love the fact that you said clutch knock, because even though it is the first inning, you want to get that first run on the board, kind of break the seal a little bit. In a 2-strike count, Altuve does a good job of staying back on the changeup and shooting it past Andrelton Simmons, who is a very good shortstop. But yet again, Altuve with runners in scoring position with another base hit.
Charles Nagy, the pitching coach, he'll go out and have a word with his left-hander. So a rough first inning for Tyler Skaggs. Astros with 2 runners on and nobody out. The best in the business with runners in scoring position ready to step into the plate. Face Yuli Gurriel. That's exactly what I meant by a clutch knock. So often the case, you put a little pressure on a guy early on in a game, you let him off the hook, and next thing you know, you're in the 5th inning and he's given up 2 hits since then.
And if you're on the offensive side, you know that you let that pitcher off the hook, and he understands that too. If he gets out, if a pitcher gets out of an inning where he has the first 2 guys on and doesn't allow a run, it's actually a boost of confidence that he got out of the situation.
And Yuli shoots this one to the right side. Grady and Kinsler, a double play. Ball was hit hard, but Kinsler able to nab the line drive.
Well, the first rule they teach you with less than 2 outs is freeze on the line drive. Yuli smoked this ball, but just to the left of Ian Kinsler, who makes a good play, moving to his left, reaching out and grabbing it, and quickly turns back to his shortstop and makes the double play. Another double play for the Houston Astros.
What did Tyler Skaggs need that in a bad way? Now here's Evan Gattis. Floats that breaking ball in there for a strike. 0-1. Gaddy hitting .239. 19 home runs. Very solid before the All-Star break. That home run over the weekend snapped at 0 for 19. Just swing and a miss. It's 0-2.
could almost say it's a quiet 19 home runs for Evan Gattis. We talked about him in June until Alex Bregman absolutely caught fire and went running by him with some of these numbers.
Set an Astros record with those 30 runs batted in the month of June. Fisted the right side. Kinsler's there, and that'll retire the side. But the Astros get a run on 2 hits and leave a man. Angels coming to bat. Mike Trout's in the 3-hole, followed by Justin Upton. Shohei Ohtani gets a rare start against a left-hander. Ian Kinsler, Jeffrey Marte, Martin Maldonado, and Jabari Blash will bat 9th for the Angels. Angels at 49 and 48 in 4th place in the American League West, and that's a lineup that will face the 30-year-old Dallas Keuchel, making his 21st start of the season.
2015 Cy Young Award winner. He's been very good in his last 6 starts, going 4-0 with a 2.17 ERA. Looking to get things going here in the second half for the Houston Astros.
It works ahead to David Fletcher, 250 hitter. Fletcher made his major league debut in mid-June. Ahead 0-2.
And again, the big key for Dallas is locating that fastball early on the edge, because if he gets ahead and counts, that forces the hitter to be defensive and possibly chase out of the zone and create soft contact, if not a swing and miss.
A fly ball into center, right at George Springer, and there's one away. Springer in center, Tucker in left, and Reddick is in right. Middle infield of Marwin and Altuve, Bregman and Yuli on the corners. Dallas 7-8, 3.75 ERA. 3 July starts, 3-0. His ERA 1.35. Andrelton Simmons, always been a really good player, and he is having his career season. Hitting .313. Just misses off the outside corner. It's 1-0. Two balls and no strikes. How about this road trip? The left side of the opponent's infield we're going to see between Nolan Arenado and Colorado and Andrelton Simmons at shortstop. A couple of guys that can really play defense. Marwin throws over, and there's 2 outs.
Now it's time for Built for Baseball, brought to you by T-Mobile. And players with a 450 plus on base percentage, 600 plus slugging, 15 or more stolen bases before the All-Star break. Again, this season a little bit different with those 99 games before the All-Star game. The Angels playing 97 of them. But Mike Trout on there in 2018, Paul Goldschmidt, a Woodlands product at the year 2015, and of course Jeff Bagwell in 1999. But the guy on there, Larry Walker, was probably one of the better hitters I ever played against. Just phenomenal numbers to be able to do that before an All-Star break.
Goldschmidt, I don't know if it's because he's playing in Phoenix or what, but the numbers he puts up, you put them where he is in his career right now, where Jeff Bagwell was, they are eerily similar. A man who grew up, like you said, played at the Woodlands High School. And grew up cheering for Jeff Bagwell.
Well, he runs the bases like him too. There's a lot of aspects of Paul Goldschmidt's game that are very similar to Jeff Bagwell.
Mike Trout hitting .310. Gets that one on the ground. That's Altuve. The left to second base, makes the throw, and that'll retire the side. We go to the second. The Astros lead 1-0.
Playing their first game since Sunday with the All-Star break. AJ talking about getting his group together today for some early hitting, just making sure he was in contact, having a conversation, seeing how everyone's break was. He did get to see a lot of these guys, but it was relaxing for some, busy for others. Right now, though, what he said was important was just getting everyone's mindset to get started, get into the second half of the season. It almost feels like it's the beginning of the season, and he wants to get all those position players in. He wants to get those pitchers to get their work in. He said at this point you're almost working with too much rest. It's something you don't talk a lot about, but he does need to get this team up and running as fast as he can. He said 63 games left to win the division. Can't limp into the second half any more than you could to start the year, so need to come out hot. Kevin.
And Josh Reddick fouls this one back. Yeah, Julia, we spent a lot of time talking with AJ in the dugout before tonight's game, and he made that point, just the fact that there's some guys out here who haven't played in 10 days. And so you got to kind of readjust. And he did say he was going to give a lot of his regulars a little time off, getting back into the swing of things and see how they work pitch counts and things like that as far as the starters are concerned from here on out. Reddick shoots that one into left field. Just another lefty. Josh Reddick with the Astros' third hit of the night.
Couple
the
of
woos here too.
Popping out. Of course, the Astros these days travel pretty good. But I think that's what Josh has done very good against left-handed pitching, is not trying to do too much. Basically just laying the barrel out there with a little bit of lag and going the other way and taking what's given to him.
Well, they are making Tyler Skaggs work. He got a big line drive double play in the first inning, with the Astros able to put together a couple of hits in that first inning and now lead off the second with a Josh Reddick single. Marwin Gonzalez fouls this one out of play on the right side. Marwin Gonzalez has stepped in and done a fine job at shortstop with Carlos Correa on the mend. No surprise there. 230, 6 home runs, and 37 runs batted in, the numbers for the season. 267 hitter against the Angels. His 22 starts at shortstop. The Astros are 17-5. It's on the ground, and that'll get through. Back-to-back singles to start the second inning. And for the second consecutive inning, the Astros have the first 2 men on.
We've got a power player brought to you by TXU Energy. How about some long home runs in this StatCast era for the Houston Astros? George Springer at one in Minnesota was 477. And right here, Carlos Correa driving one over both bullpens halfway up that bleacher and left for 469 feet. And of course, Maximus dropping the head and going over the bullpen out there in Arlington. That was a pretty good poke at 466. Longest one this season.
And here is Max Stassi. That is something that the Astros seem like they have been ahead in the count all night long. Granted, nobody out here in the second inning with 2 runners on. And Skaggs has not been able to throw strike one. Good hit into the center field, and another single, and that'll load the bases. The bases loaded with nobody out for Kyle Tucker.
I like the way this is setting up. But this is one thing for me that Max needs to work on a little bit. He's been great all the way around this season, but we've seen him have some issues on pitches on the outside portion of the plate. Sometimes that swing gets a little quick in and out of the zone, but right there made a great adjustment, staying on the fastball away and shooting it back up the middle.
The Astros had runners on first and second with nobody out in the first inning. Now they have the bases loaded with no one out in the second inning for Kyle Tucker. It's in there for a strike. Tucker being called up about a week and a half ago. Batting in the 9-hole tonight. Stassi at first, Marwin at second, Reddick at third. 3 straight singles to start the inning. Fouled off on the right side.
Trying to slow the young man down in an RBI situation. Off-speed pitches early.
Opponent's hitting 173 off Skaggs when he is ahead in the count. Seems like this is a rare occasion in which he has actually been ahead in the count. He's ahead of Kyle Tucker 0-2. Foul ball just got a piece of that. Astros looking to cash in here. And a golden opportunity here in the second inning. Already leading 1-0. Tucker down the left side. And that'll bounce into the stands. Justin Upton gave it a run. Couldn't quite get there.
Well, good fundamentals by Josh Reddick down there at third base. He was back there tagging up just in case Justin Upton did get to it. Create a sacrifice fly for the young man and get that RBI on the board. Some of the more fun toys we have. That is our StatCast sac fly line. And usually everything around that green line and in towards home plate, you probably won't test the outfielder's arm, but anything behind that green line, Josh Reddick is going to test those arms out there, especially Mike Trout, I believe.
There's a swing and a miss, and there's one out.
Heavy dose of curved balls.
Didn't think you were going to get a fastball, and he didn't.
Well, the one he fouled off was the fastball, so he tried to speed him up, and Kyle Tucker did a good job of fighting it off, but all that did was lead him to another breaking ball.
A Springer, who singled in the first inning and scored. The Astros lead 1-0. Bats with one out, and the bases loaded here in the second. Astros already with 5 hits in this game. Got a rip.
Yeah, catching still doesn't look fun.
No, it does not.
Nope.
Martin Maldonado.
He's a good one back there, too.
Getting right in the mask.
Again, the shape of that hockey-style mask, it's a little more rounded. And what that is trying to do is create a little more of a deflection.
Yeah, there's no deflection there.
But that one squared him up, didn't it?
That was absolutely. 1 ball and 1 strike. Went upstairs, it's 1-2. You know, it had to be a good feeling for George, not knowing just the fact that he got a couple of knocks in the All-Star game, but whenever you play that first game after the break, just start things off with a single. Knowing that you had struggled going into the All-Star break. Trying to get that fresh start, turning the page. Fouls this one back. By the way, we are in prime foul ball territory.
Yes. That might have been the first question you asked me when I got in the booth today. Hey, the foul balls come over? Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, no,
Considering there's about 4 or 5 dents
I haven't
in the wall behind us. Not the first wall, the second wall.
Yeah, they're not glancing blows. They were like what Martin Maldonado got just a minute ago. This one fouled off. Already up to 35 pitches for Tyler Skaggs, making his 9th career start against the Astros. 4 wins, 2 losses, a 2.76 ERA career against Houston. George way out ahead of that breaking ball.
Spray chart on George. Does a good job of going up the middle and over that shortstop's head. It's in those last 100 baseballs put in play by George. But sometimes when you're struggling, that head gets out there a little bit quick and you get heavy on the pull side.
This one hit high in the air. Kinsler out, Trout coming in, and Kinsler will make the play. Here comes Reddick to the plate. And Josh Reddick with the heads up tag at third base, and he'll score the Astros' 2nd run of the game.
And baseball instincts took over on that play right there. I think if Mike Trout catches that ball coming in towards home, he does not tag up. Due to the fact that Ian Kinsler is catching this backpedaling, that's what indicated to Josh Reddick that he had a chance to get home. Great read. Just heads up baseball. You know what else I love too is he made the decision before he took off, because you could tell when he took those first 2 steps, head was down.
Yep. The Astros now lead it 2-0.
Just your standard sacrifice fly to the second baseman.
You got it. And Trout was there too. That was the thing. Alex Bregman takes strike 1. Alex walked. He was doubled off on the line drive in which the Astros had the runners, 2 runners on with nobody out in that first inning. That was a big play for Tyler Skaggs. All-Star MVP, Alex Bregman. That was a great way to end it for the Astros fans. Back-to-back home runs and Bregman getting the MVP, giving the MVP to his mom.
You can't, I mean, I know that we're in the vicinity of Hollywood, but you can't write out too many scripts that are paralleling what Alex Bregman is going through.
And how about the All-Star game against, speaking of LA, against Dodger pitching once again? Just did get a piece. It's 0-2.
Yeah, therapy fees went up in the LA area.
Dave Roberts thinking, where have I seen this movie before?
Yeah. You see the San Francisco Giants Twitter account? They had a little bit of fun with that. Kind of like, stop me if you've seen this before.
Hit hard right at Andrelton Simmons. And he'll go the short route. That will retire the side. We'll talk about that when we come back. The Astros lead at 2-0.
talked about the last 6, and if you break it down, the last 3 starts for Dallas Keuchel, it has gotten even better. 3-0, 1.35 ERA. The strikeouts have been very good, but we also saw vintage Keuchel in that first inning getting a couple of ground ball outs, and that's where Dallas has gotten back in shape. It's been pretty much Dallas and Lance McCullers as far as ground ball percentages this season, but that's where you want to see Dallas Keuchel trending. The month of July has been good to Dallas Keuchel in those last 3 starts. It's been that fastball, but a little more on the 4-seam, and that cutter kind of acting like a slider a little bit. But again, when he gets ahead early and forces that hitter to get on his heels and play a little bit of defense, that plays into the hands of Dallas Keuchel.
Talk about the ground ball rate. He's second to Lance McCullers in the American League, and also 4th in soft contact percentage. Chris Sale leads the way in that department.
It's almost come back to haunt Dallas a little bit with some of those soft contact, even with runners on. Ground balls not being hit hard enough to turn double plays.
Justin Upton, 1 hopper right at Bregman. He'll throw across, and there's 1 out in the second.
Our Best in Texas Power Pitcher is brought to you by your local Ford dealers. We've got some numbers on Dallas Keuchel, and that secondary pitch usage, take the fastball out of it, and then you have a chance to see what Dallas is going out there and doing. In those last 6 starts where he is 4-0, got roughed up a little bit in between one of those starts, but 42% of that slurve, we'll call it a little bit more of a curveball, because I think that cut has actually turned into a little bit of a shorter, harder slider for him. But the changeup has been highly effective, and I think the most of that is due to the fact that he's been good with his fastball early on in counts.
Gone away from the cutter and really a lot more changeups, and he gets ahead on Shohei Ohtani, 0-1. But Julia, I know AJ talked a lot about what Dallas Keuchel has been doing to be so successful, particularly in the month of July.
Yeah, he finished that first half so well for him. You know, he said you always want to be moving forward, and so he felt like he had finally done that. He'd been progressing after putting some of those starts early in the year behind him. But, you know, early on, we had heard from the Astros they wanted to see that changeup more, and they were encouraging that. He's definitely done that. You saw the usage right there, but it's just been a really good pitch. And he said he's been trying to throw the fastball for strikes early in the count, but here in a few starts before the break, that changeup's been so good. It's really been he's been able to use that in different ways. Just a really good place for him heading into that break. He felt like he has something to build on here as August, September, as he called them, were the grind.
It's facing Shohei Ohtani here, and Ohtani does not face a lot of left-handed pitching. He is just 6 for 36 against lefties. No, he spent 21 games, he missed 21 games being on the disabled list. That's in there. Strike 3 call. First strikeout of the night for Dallas Keuchel.
Just a fastball from Dallas. A couple off-speed pitches early on. He slowed things down a little bit, and then he just shocked him, bringing in the fastball in that 2-strike count.
Up and 5 down as Ian Kinsler, hitting .219, steps in. 2 outs in the second inning. Just the first strikeout of the night for Dallas Keuchel. You remember 3 starts ago in Arlington, he struck out 6 of the first 7 Rangers he faced. It was really the second game on that nice run for Dallas Keuchel.
I think it was 5 out of the 6 first strikeouts that you're talking about were on that curveball too.
Ball. Watch it.
Stay with it.
It's not foul until it passes the bag or stops rolling.
That was that changeup.
A lot of funky spin on that.
Kind of like you at the pool hall.
A little masse. You don't even know what masse is.
I have no idea what you just said.
Anybody that knows billiards tell Blummer what masse means.
I knew you were going to go all Paul Newman on me.
No balls and 2 strikes. There's been an economical first inning and 2/3 for Dallas Keuchel.
Just under half as many pitches as Skaggs has in this game.
This is outside there. First time that he started against the Angels this season. It's the 7th meeting of the year between these 2 teams. They've split the previous 6. Ooh. ball got down there in a hurry.
Somebody was bailing in a hurry down there.
I think somebody was sitting on the step. Remember, who was it?
Might have been Hector Rondon.
Oh, it was. He said, I'm heading to the bullpen.
Yeah, could you please not try and blow out our closer, please?
Count remains 1 ball and 2 strikes. Coming right in there. Reclaimed his real estate. That's in the dirt. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, and the Astros with a 2-run lead here in bottom of the second inning. Been a tough season for Mike Scioscia and company. AJ Hinch, really interesting to talk to him about the All-Star weekend. This one, a mile in the air. Stassi has a play, and that'll retire the side. 2 innings in the book. The Astros lead it 2-0.
Of course, it's Jose Altuve. Post All-Star break since 2014. He has put up a .340 batting average. Best in the American League. This guy knows how to finish out seasons, but a lot of it has to do with the fact that he's also been chasing that 200 hit plateau, and he's achieved it. And he's continuing to go after it again this season. 63 games left in this second half of the season post All-Star break to go out there and eclipse that 200 mark again for Jose Altuve. .340.
Second best in all of Major League Baseball to Joey Votto, who is absolutely raked after the All-Star break. Altuve bats to lead off here in the 3rd inning. Altuve drove in the Astros' first run of the night with an RBI single in the 1st. That misses. It's 2-0. Skaggs, a first-round pick, 40th overall pick in 2009 by the Angels. He was traded away to Arizona. He's been involved in some big trades. He made his way back. He was in the Dan Herron deal at one point. He was a player to be named then. He was also in the Mark Trumbo deal when he came back here from Arizona. 27-year-old from Santa Monica. Altuve hit high to right field. Jabari Blash with his first try of the night. There's 1 out.
I think Jerry DiPoto, I was in Arizona when Tyler Skaggs got traded over, and DiPoto was the assistant GM underneath Kevin Towers when they picked him up in Arizona. Then Jerry DiPoto became the general manager here in you know, the vicinity of Los Angeles and traded back for Tyler Skaggs.
About a 58-footer right there.
Well, we're seeing a little bit of a trend, too, of Tyler Skaggs falling behind in some of these counts with the off-speed pitches. A couple of curveballs he didn't get early on in the ball game down in the zone, but a couple of these changeups to lead off this inning so far have not found the zone.
And talking with AJ before the game, too, about what made Tyler Skaggs so tough. It seems so simplistic to say get ahead in the count, but he said when he spends his breaking ball for strikes, he can make it a really long night for the opponent. Tonight he has struggled getting ahead in the count. There's Charles Nagy on the right, pitching coach for the Los Angeles Angels. 2 balls and 1 strike. That ball hit right at Andrelton Simmons. Soft liner, an easy play for Simmons, and there's 2 away.
Tickets are available for the final Lone Star Series of the season presented by Texas Lottery. Cheer on the Astros next weekend as they take on their in-state rivals, the Texas Rangers. For tickets, visit astros.com/tickets.
Is it just me, or does that seem strange that you won't see the
It's extremely
Texas
odd.
Rangers in August or September?
It's a little disappointing because you want to beat up on your rival as you go into the postseason kind of thing, but I also think it's interesting how it lines up with the Astros playing a lot of games against the Seattle Mariners, who are surprisingly in second place.
Astros have opened it up to a 5-game lead as they start play. Game number 100 tonight. Gaddis grounded out in the first inning. And a cue shot at Ian Kinsler. That is now 51 pitches for Tyler Skaggs as he works here in the third. Astros had the first 3 runners on base in their first 2 at-bats. Nobody on it, 2 outs, and a 1-2 count to Evan. Breaking ball lays off in the dirt. Gaddis hit that home run off of Michael Fulmer in that series on Saturday against Detroit. He'd been 0 for 19 before that. He's going back-to-back with Josh Reddick. Three balls and 2 strikes. Asked Evan what he did for his All-Star break. Went to Alaska. Just up and went to Alaska.
If you had a beard like that, that's what you do.
Just glad he was able to get back.
Wrestling bears.
Yeah. And winning.
Of course.
He draws a walk. Second walk of the game for Tyler Skaggs. That'll bring up Josh Reddick.
Hey guys,
Yes, ma'am.
Evan Gaddis got on a plane by himself to Alaska, Anchorage. Talk about getting away from everything. He said he enjoyed everything about it. The weather was obviously cool and crisp. I know you know, Kevin, but the food, he said, was good. He just had a great time by himself and then was ready to get back to work when he got back in late last night. So
The weather would rejuvenate you, that's for sure.
that's what he said. He couldn't handle the heat today here in Anaheim because he had become accustomed in just those few days to Anchorage.
Okay, he wasn't there that long. But you knew he wore a flannel shirt when he was there.
Of course he did.
And again, Tyler Skaggs failing to get ahead of another hitter. 1 ball and no strikes to Josh Reddick, who singled, and he scored on what turned out to be a sacrifice fly by George Springer. Ball that was hit kind of a tweener into center field, shallow center field. Trout was there, but Ian Kinsler made the play going away from home plate. And Reddick rifles this one down the right field line. Gaddis will turn the corner at second base and head to third. Gary Pettis is going to wave him in. Here comes Gaddis to the plate. The throw, and the Astros extend the lead to 3-0. A 3-base hit for Josh Reddick. driving in Gaddis, and 2 out hitting for Houston.
How about Tyler Skaggs? Gets through Altuve and Gurriel pretty quick, and then proceeds to go out there and walk Evan Gaddis, and then Josh Reddick again. So many questions as they picked up Josh Reddick. Would he play against left-handed pitching? Last year he hit about .314 against him. This year doing a very good job again, raking this one down the right field line. And we know that Gary Pettis, no matter who's on the base paths, if he has an opportunity to wave a guy home, he is going to take full advantage of it, and it pays off.
First triple of the season for Reddick, drives in his 30th run. Now Marwin bats with a runner at third and 2 outs.
You know who else went 3 bases?
Yes, I do.
That guy.
He's known for his triples. Been a few years back. Hasn't had one this season.
Well, it's almost as if he said, yeah, I proved to everybody I could go out and get the triple and just shut it down the rest of the way.
No balls and 2 strikes. Don't want to give away all the secrets. Marwin singled back in the 2nd inning. Marwin has now started 17 of the last 20 games at shortstop. Extended his hitting streak to 4 games. In this game, that 3-game hitting streak at hitting .400. 1 for 1 with a single. Bats with a runner at third here in 2 outs. Marwin making the start tonight is short. Word on Carlos Correa is as of right now still receiving medical treatment. No timetable on when he will be able to go out for a rehab assignment.
Evan Gaddis is right. He's out of his element here in the heat.
He had a sweatshirt on? No hoodie?
No.
Oh, big fellas doesn't. That's a long way to go. Usually when he's scoring in that situation, he's trotting around the bases. It is a warm night. I mean, it's not hot by Houston standards.
No.
It's not. You lived in Southern California for a long time. Is this a warm evening?
This is full-blown panic.
Okay.
83 in humidity. Are you kidding me?
Marwin shoots this one foul.
Did you get the alert on your phone today? It said heat advisory starting on Monday, and it said 90 degrees. I was like, you gotta be kidding me.
Well, it's going to be really humid, 55%.
Yeah, wow. Hunker down. There's no more ice at the local grocery store.
'64th pitch of the night for Tyler Skaggs. Bounces it in. Good block by Martin Maldonado. Not that we see Tyler Skaggs that often, but you just get the feeling he just hasn't been right from the get-go tonight. He is an interesting number on him. He's a local kid. Career here in this stadium in 28, 5-10 record.
I know.
He's not gotten a lot of run support. In 5-10, this ball hit deep to right field. And that'll retire the side. But the Astros building a picket fence right now with a run in the first, second, and third. Lead it 3-0.
Astros starting five. They have been very good. They have been very healthy, and that's how we want to keep it, because all five of them coming into this game have a sub 3.8 ERA. First time since 1988 that we've seen that number established by five guys in a rotation, where all of them at a 3.80 or less. That is incredible stuff, and that matches up well with what the Astros offense is able to go out there and do on any given night. If they did it a little more frequently for that guy, that record would be a little bit different.
And the interesting thing with the 64 wins, you never don't feel like the Astros have played their best baseball yet. If they can win tonight, they will become the first team, first defending World Series champion since the '68 Cardinals, to win 65 of their first 100 games following winning the World Series. Pretty heady company.
We always talk about windows when these guys are able to put everything together and make it happen. A.J. Hinch understands this is that window, and that is the time for the Astros, and maximizing it.
Lazy fly ball to right field. No problems for Josh Reddick. One out. Jeffrey Marte flies out to right.
After everything they went through to get Justin Verlander last season, to see them go out in the offseason and pick up a guy like Garrett Cole, and then to see Garrett Cole put up the numbers he's putting up, it's pretty incredible.
Be interesting to see what's on the horizon as far as deals that might be made for this team. See other teams getting better. Indians got better at the back end of their bullpen.
Again, Andrew Miller has not been who they had hoped this season, at least.
It's in there for strike one. Martin Maldonado hitting .234. Angels catcher. Interesting too are some of the teams that are on the outside looking in. It's always the question that comes to mind. Is Altuve scoops this one up and throws Maldonado out. Astros road ahead is driven by DeMontron RV. Justin Verlander tomorrow. That is a nationally televised game here against the Angels. We'll be right back with you on Sundays. Lance McCullers takes the mound. Garrett Cole and Charlie Morton will go Wednesday at Colorado, and then it'll be Dallas Keuchel on the mound Friday as the Astros come home for a brief 3-game homestand. Just 3 against the Texas Rangers, and that is it for the rest of the season as far as the Astros and the Rangers. That pitching staff has been nothing short of amazing. There's one thing to knowing what a pitching staff can do. There's another thing to watching them go out and do it on a day-in, day-out basis. Astros have still only used 5 starting pitchers.
And it was one of those things in spring training. You kind of, like you said, you saw it on paper and you said, wow, these guys have got phenomenal numbers, great track records. Wouldn't it be great if they performed up to their capabilities? They've done it.
Yeah, and some. Jabari Blash, who's a 9-hole hitter, that's here in the 3rd inning. Blash just 2 for 19, native of the U.S. Virgin Islands. But his teammates picking him up in the All-Star game. Charlie Morton gave up the home runs and then got a couple home runs back. Strike 3 called. 9 up, 9 down as we go to the 4th. The Astros with a 3-0 lead. Press box, broadcast booth, dugout, scoreboard, and more. Visit Astros.com/tours to book your tour today. Get a chance to sit down in Todd Callis or Jeff Blum's seat. By the way, TK will be back. I'll be with you on the road trip, giving him a little R&R, time off here as we get to the 100th game of the season. He'll be back with you as the Texas Rangers come to town after this road trip. There's Max Stassi.
We've got security cameras up there.
You do.
So just be careful in our booth.
He's not kidding.
You're watching
when he says
everything.
That. He's not kidding.
If only Sparky was listening.
You don't want well, that's.
He's always in there messing around.
Stassi singled in the second. Ball hit high, and Trout goes back and makes the play in right center field. One away.
Defensive rankings are driven by GMC. Defense up the middle here for the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim has been pretty good. Much acclaimed, and Drelton Simmons doing a very good job at shortstop, but he works well with Ian Kinsler also. As far as 21 defensive runs saved, that is the best among second base and shortstop combos in Major League Baseball.
Now, Simmons has always been a wizard with the glove. Now a .313 hitter on top of that. Kyle Tucker behind the count 0-1. Kyle struck out with the bases loaded in the second inning. At this juncture here, now a week and a half into his big league career, is there at that point, the 0-1, where your head's spinning a little bit, where you're thinking about not thinking too much, if that makes sense, where you just, your head's just kind of, you're thinking fastball, you're going to get a breaking ball. You're thinking breaking ball, you're going to get a fastball.
I was doing that in my 12th, 13th, and 14th season. You kidding me? It happens all the time. That's why they call baseball a game of adjustments. But it's just exaggerated when you get young men up here like Kyle Tucker, who is highly touted. I can't compare what I went through to what he went through. I came up as a 26-year-old rookie. This is a young man who has donned the nickname Ted because of comparisons with Ted Williams, and there's higher expectations for him. But also, I knew that if I didn't make it in my first 60 games, I wasn't going to make it ever. This guy's going to get some opportunities. I think that once he finally relaxes and believes that his talent will play at this level, he will be just fine and be a huge asset. I'm not concerned about the fact that he hasn't come out here in a blaze of glory and just lit the world on fire. In this day and age, of all the knowledge that's out there, they may have a game plan already against Kyle Tucker. It's just a matter of him figuring it out and getting to it. But I think he's highly talented.
At 21 years old, youngest player in the American League.
He's got a unique swing.
It is different, isn't it?
It is. I was talking to a scout in the food room, Dave Melpass, who I have experience being around him back in my Montreal days, and he had a very good comparison that I completely agree with. Sean Green, very similar swing.
The same look too. Tall and
wiry,
thin, wiry. Well, Tucker's 0 for 2. Turns it over to the top of the order, and George Springer.
And there's always that conversation. These guys are so good. They get to the big leagues, and then why aren't they immediately having success? Pitching is really good here. If you're watching the Astros on a daily basis, you know that Major League pitching is extremely good. And that's the biggest thing. Some of the secondary pitches are a lot better than you're going to see in AAA. The consistent velocity is one of the things that impresses me here at the big league level, especially in recent years. But they're creating movement and velocity, and it's not easy.
And it's a different world from spring training, needless to say. Because, I mean, let's face it, Kyle lit it up down in West Palm.
That's another thing that gives me hope. I mean, even though it was spring training and guys may have been working on stuff or maybe left some pitches out of the plate, he still crushed mistakes, and that's what you want to see. He just hasn't gotten too many mistakes.
1 ball and 1 strike. George 0 for 1, or 1 for 1, I should say, with the sacrifice fly. Run scored. Singleton scored in the first. A sacrifice fly on a pop up to Ian Kinsler, who was at his back to the plate. Josh Reddick with a heads-up tag at third base, able to score easily. Astros lead 3-0. Run in the first, run in the second, and a run in the third. This one on the ground, hit hard, but right at Ian Kinsler. And that'll retire the side. Astros lead it 3-0.
July is your month to show your spirit. Use hashtag UltimateSWFanLA on Twitter to show us, and you could win a jersey and a VIP experience. Hopefully a little more exciting than that one. So tweet now and win big.
We go to the fourth inning. Dallas Keuchel has faced 9 Angels in the first 3 at-bats. David Fletcher lined out to center field in his first at-bat. 2 balls and no strikes.
Spray chart on David Fletcher. Not playing the shift on him. Still early. Feeling things out against the young man at the plate. Up the middle, that shortstop area.
He was called up from Salt Lake City. Made his major league debut on June 13th. He's also an LA native. Played college baseball at Loyola Marymount up in Los Angeles. There's the first base runner of the night for the Los Angeles Angels. Tonight's Rocket Mortgage breakdown. Big trades over the All-Star break. Manny Machado going to the Los Angeles Dodgers, and Brad Hand, left-hander. A lot of people know a whole lot about Brad Hand from the standpoint he played in San Diego for so long.
Yeah, but he was coveted.
Oh, absolutely. Don't get me wrong. The general managers knew about Brad Hand very well. But Brad Hand is certainly going to strengthen the back end of that bullpen for the Cleveland Indians. The thing about some of these teams is you can toil in relative anonymity no matter how good you are. I think Brad Hand was kind of that type of guy.
Well, it's, if you're a casual,
that's what I mean,
fan, and then you wake up and you say, Brad Hand, cool name, but who is he? And then you check out the numbers and you're like, oh, I like this guy.
Brad
yeah.
Hand, not the guy who taught Jeff Spicoli, the other one.
Yeah, not Mr. Hand.
1 ball and 1 strike to Andrelton Simmons. David Fletcher at first base with a walk. He is the first base runner of the night for the Angels. Keuchel will step off. Simmons grounded to short his first at bat. Moves his feet a little bit. It's 2 balls and 1 strike.
Two. Dallas Keuchel, that's brilliant for him. I like it. Let it go on the inside corner, maybe tie a guy up. But again, that soft contact has worked a little bit against Dallas Keuchel this season, just in the sense that some of these ground balls he gets hit aren't hit hard enough to turn.
That's a good pitch there. Simmons way out in front. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
And that's an effective changeup that Julie was talking about. Brent Strom wanting to be a little more aggressive with, and that's good arm action on it with good depth breaking down underneath the swing.
So Cliff's Notes version, basically less cutter, more changeup is basically what you really need to cut to the chase on that.
There's the lowest hard hit rate of the 5 starters and their rankings next to him. But Keuchel is a guy who consistently stays off the barrel with a little bit of sink, that cutter.
2 hopper to Bregman. He'll have to go to first.
And unfortunately, that's an example of not being hit hard enough to turn that double play. But when you've got a lead and you're playing in the infield and you don't have a ground ball that you really feel like you need to force, you're going to go ahead and take the guaranteed out. And that was at first base for Alex Bregman.
That'll bring up Mike Trout with a runner in scoring position. As you were talking about it, and it was right on cue. The soft contact, whereas that ball had been hit harder, that would have been a double play ball, even with Simmons running. So Trout, a .341 career hitter against Dallas Keuchel. Strike 1. The 23 games before the All-Star break, Mike Trout hit just .231. Astros have handled him well.
We've talked over the years about the way to go attack. Mike Trout is up in the zone. He comes at the baseball steep at times, likes the pitch down. But even Dallas Keuchel, not a guy who's high velocity, not afraid to pitch up in that zone to try and get chase or a pop-up.
Get a mile in the air on the right side. Yuli over, and Yuli will have a play in foul territory, and there's 2 away. Big out there.
Keuchel executing that. A little bit of an off-speed pitch up in the zone. He catches Mike Trout trying to defend up in the zone and gets the barrel out too quick and pops it up.
Dallas's last 6 starts, 4-0. Justin Upton bats with a runner at second base and 2 away. Grounded out to Bregman back in the 2nd inning. Strike 1. That sounds familiar. You've heard a lot of that tonight. Strike 1.
Yep. Get ahead early.
Bounces in, a ball and a strike. Like everybody is the same. Their highest percentage, that pull side.
Especially with the power hitters trying to pull.
Astros lead 3-0 with a run in the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. Angels batting with a runner at second base here in the 4th. Good pitch, swing and a miss.
Good changeup.
Took advantage of an aggressive hitter, Justin Upton.
Justin has plenty of power all over the ballpark. But in 2-1 count, maybe assuming that Dallas didn't want to fall behind and get to that 3-1 count and come with the fastball in the zone. Unloaded, but that pitch never got there.
Yuli Gurriel with
the run-saving play, and that'll retire the side. The diving catch from Yuli. He gets Justin Upton, and the Astros lead 3-0.
And we're looking at the leadoff hitter this inning, Alex Bregman. He was the 5th Astro to participate in the home run derby. His teammates, there were a lot of them at the All-Star game, loved the show that he put on. He did lose to Kyle Schwarber by just 1 home run, but it was really fun to see him on a stage this big. And he said of the entire All-Star experience, guys, it flew by for him. He was busy from the second they got on that plane to head to Washington, D.C., but he did spend yesterday resting, so he did get his rest in, and he is more than ready for this final stretch of the season. But how much fun did this guy have, and how much fun did we all have watching him the last few days?
He wasn't the only one that needed some rest once they got here. That was a taxing weekend for those guys. Alex Bregman takes ball 1, but the way everybody else was so excited for him, and you know it is, you know it all too well. You can't fake the enthusiasm for somebody that you really don't care about, and that's one of the really great things about this team. There's a line drive. That's one away. It's Fletcher was right there. Hit it hard, but hit it right at the third baseman.
No, I'm with you. You love a guy like Alex Bregman on your ball club. He's just got that twinge of, I hate to call it arrogance because sometimes there's that negative connotation that goes with that word, but he has just that slight twinge of just, I'm going to be better than you and I'm going to go out there and do it. And your teammates love that. He's, you know, guys rag on him in the clubhouse. He takes it. He rags back. He is a great guy in every sense of being a good teammate. Just a pleasure to be around. But I'm with you in the fact these guys, they have no problem showing each other some love if they deserve it.
First pitch swinging, Jose Altuve grounds out. Tyler Skaggs could use a quick inning, and so far he's gotten one. There's 2 away.
Well, hence the reason the Astros are voted best team in sports on that one channel.
One thing to being good, there's another thing to being good and fun to watch.
Yeah.
And I think that there's a certain sense that I think when people watch, they realize that guys are having, winning is always fun, and you're always going to look like you're having fun when you're winning. I think this is a team that looks like they're having a lot of fun winning, and they're winning right now with 3-0 as we're midway through here in Anaheim. Homes to Go, where you get the lowest prices every day and delivery is fast and easy. And by Nissan, innovation that excites. Well, a good night for Dallas Keuchel here in Anaheim. Alongside Jeff Blum, Julian Morales, Kevin Eschenfelder sitting in for Todd Callis tonight, middle of the fifth inning. Shohei Ohtani leads off the bottom of the fifth for the Angels. Angels have had one base runner. It was David Fletcher, who reached on a walk in the fourth inning. Astros with a run in the first, a run in the second, and a run in the third inning, a lead 3-0. Ohtani, the good news for him is he has been medically cleared to begin a throwing program. Remember, he missed 21 games with that UCL sprain.
The question is, are they going to allow him? Let him do it to an extent, but I can't imagine there's an anticipation of trying to ramp him up to get him back pitching in a big league game this season.
I think when you think about the risk and the reward.
Well, and you're playing 500 baseball in the season in a tough Western division.
He punched out looking in his first at bat. Hasn't faced a lot of left-handed pitching, and he's not been good when he has faced lefties. Swing and a miss. Ohtani goes down for the second time tonight.
Well, I'll tell you what's interesting too about these Angels. You've got Ian Kinsler, Mike Trout, Justin Upton, some powerful right-handed hitters. As you see a good two-seam fastball from Dallas Keuchel down and in. Great depth on that, but that front side kind of flying open left on left for Ohtani. The Angels are 29th in baseball as far as batting average against left-handed pitchers. They're hitting .224 as a team and only 30 home runs of their 130 against left-handed pitching. It's kind of interesting with the power right-handed bats that they can have in their lineup.
9 wins, 18 losses against left-handed pitching.
Maybe that's what AJ was thinking about.
When he set up this rotation out of the All-Star break.
And his next start will be against Texas, where he had a good outing last time he faced him too.
So there's a method to the madness, is what you're saying.
So you're saying this guy's pretty good.
Kinsler hits that one right at Altuve. 2 outs. MLB.TV is now available at a lower price for $82.99. You can watch out-of-market games live or on demand. The subscription includes at-bat premium, allowing you to watch on your favorite supported devices. Blackouts and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.com TV to take advantage of this special offer. Jeffrey Marte flew out to right field in the third inning. We're in the fifth. This is off the outside corner. It's 1-0. Marte snapped an 0 for 17 on Sunday as he took Clayton Kershaw deep at Dodger Stadium. Angels come into this game after losing 2 out of 3 across town to LA. Astros coming in after a 7-4 homestand, 11-game homestand, longest of the season. Keuchel wanted to collect his thoughts after going 3-0 for the first time tonight. Marte to right at Reddick. And that'll retire the side.
Blanco spending some time in Alaska. Came back and scored from first, but in 2016, when he led the team with 32 home runs, he hit 19 of them post All-Star break in 2016, tied for 5th in Astros history. Walk off in there, but he was that DH that really A.J. Hinch had been looking for.
Tony Kemp cracks me up in that video.
Why is he constantly jumping on people?
Because he can.
Exactly.
Gaddis steps in. Gaddis walked. He scored from first on a big 2-out triple by Josh Reddick. That was that inning too with Skaggs. You thought, man, he's going to cruise through this inning and right the ship for himself. And he's since done that a little bit, but then first 2 outs, a walk, 2-out walk to Gaddis, and then Reddick shoots one down the right field line.
Evan would love to finish strong. He got up to such a rough start in that first quarter of the season with only 8 RBIs. Since then has exploded with the long ball and the RBIs being driven in.
Play for Fletcher to throw him out easily, though. Good footwork as Fletcher had to adjust and take a couple of steps back and was able to make the play. 2000 Astros. You talk about the numbers that they were able to put together. Richard Hidalgo bagging Moises Alou. It seemed like Moises Alou did that every year after the All-Star break and even before the All-Star break. But Bagwell a big second half. Same for Alou and Richard Hidalgo. In that season for Hidalgo, he had .314. He had 44 bombs and drove in a .122.
Well, that was first year.
First year at Minute Maid Park.
Yeah.
Well, then Enron Field.
But the hitters loved it. Pitchers
Yeah.
didn't so much, but it's just amazing to me to see those guys be able to put up those kinds of numbers. And I feel like as good as those other 2 guys were, Moises Alou was just captain consistency, I felt, throughout his entire career. He probably put up those numbers every single year of his career.
Yeah, Moises, when you take the last 20 years of Major League Baseball, he's one of those guys that you may not think about first and foremost, but man, you talk about a guy who could hit. Just flat hit.
No, I'm with you. I think if you ask guys in that generation who are some of the best hitters, like I feel like Larry Walker is a guy who doesn't get talked about enough.
That's a good point, yeah.
Moises Alou might be that same type of guy as far as right-handed hitters are concerned.
Moises, and I've said this before, but you could hear a difference when he took batting practice.
Yeah.
It was a
very
different
crisp
sound. There's a few guys that were like that. Reddick pops this one up on the left side. Fletcher comes over. He'll have plenty of room. He makes the play.
And if you're playing on that ball club, how about knowing that you've got 3 guys in the lineup that are absolutely launching or tearing the cover off the ball for 68, 66, and 61 RBIs? Man.
And it was not a good year for the Astros. That's the amazing thing. That first year at Enron Field. Big expectations after coming off the '98 year and then 1999 and playoff appearances, albeit disappointing ones, and then 2000 fell flat just a little bit. Well, Marwin Gonzalez 1 for 2, singled in the second inning. Imagine where a team would be. You lose a guy like Carlos Correa, and I think we're spoiled in watching the Astros day in and day out. Whereas Marwin's not the player Carlos Correa is. I'm not saying that. I'm saying the fact that you don't take a big step back.
No.
Does that make sense?
No, absolutely. And the record actually would say you're doing well above average.
Oh, absolutely. Not
even if Marwin's going out there and playing shortstop, the record proves you that he is capable of going out there and playing winning shortstop. But it's tough to compare him against a guy like Carlos Correa, who has MVP type talent. But you're really not losing too big of a step by putting a guy like Marwin out there.
I said it before, 17-5, and there's 22 starts for Marwin at shortstop. Started 16 of the last 19 at shortstop, and those other ones, Bregman's gotten a couple of starts there at short. Ball's inside. They'll walk him. So 4-pitch walk to Marwin with 2 outs to bring up Max Stassi.
Catch a great ballpark bargain with the Coca-Cola Ballpark Bundle. The bundle includes a ticket, hot dogs, soda, and popcorn for only $20 during select weekday games. Visit Astros.com/ballpark bundle for tickets and info.
They had a long homestand before the All-Star break, and now this road trip out of the All-Star break. 3 here in Anaheim, followed by a couple in Denver after a day off on Monday, and the Astro fans following the Astros all over the country. That's been the biggest difference, and I guess with success and with winning World Series, these things happen. Man, what a huge difference. You see a lot of orange here at this ballpark.
It's a good look. It's also nice when you can have the World Series champion patch on the shoulder. Kind of helps the argument.
With the 94th pitch of the night for Tyler Skaggs. Hit on the ground, Stassi. And the short route, and that'll retire the side. Go to the bottom of the 6th. The Astros lead 3-0. On 2005, Can't Teach Speed and Late Season Edition. Who am I? 2005, Can't Teach Speed, Late Season Edition. That one should be
either way.
easy.
That could go either way. Can't teach speed.
Yeah, you're right.
You either have it or you're just not going to learn it.
I'm having a feeling it's going to have something to do with speed. It's in there for strike 1 as Martin Maldonado leads off the 6th inning. Angels have had 1 base runner tonight. It was a 4th inning walk to David Fletcher. Astros lead at 3-0. Oh, and 2. Keuchel hitting spots, changing speeds.
We're seeing a little more velocity from Dallas Keuchel too. We've seen him touch 92 with that 4-seam fastball on the season, averaging 89 miles an hour on that fastball. A good all-star break for him, coming back refreshed, and a little bit of extra life on that fastball helps set up that changeup away.
Well, Dallas has 10 wins against the Angels. 10-2 is his career mark against Los Angeles. Only Felix Hernandez and Bartolo Colon among active pitchers with more wins over the Halos. Last 9 starts for Dallas against this team, 7-1. An ERA sub 2.5. There's a ball hit right at Marwin. 1 out in the 6th.
That was that changeup. He even though it's not in the ideal location. Yes, it's on that outer third, but it's not typically in that down and away zone where we like to see Dallas Keuchel. But he's done such a good job with the arm speed and the deception to get that pitch off the barrel. This has been between, that last pitch was at 78 miles an hour on the changeup. He's topped out at 82 miles an hour on it.
Jabari Blash fouls one back. See, that's the difference in you
going?
and me. I know. You go forward, I go back. Self-preservation, my man. Self-preservation.
Delusions of grandeur over here. Oh, I can catch this.
No, you knew the ball was going to dive in front of us.
It was all an act.
One ball and one strike. They asked for the appeal. Did not go. Yeah, it's prime real estate for foul balls, that's for sure. Oh, Blash struck out looking. It was swing and a miss. Well, you talk about a guy that's worn out the track between here and Salt Lake City. Blash played 3 games in the big leagues in May, was sent down. Played 4 games in the big leagues in June, was sent down. This is his 3rd game here in the month of July.
It's not easy.
Came up with the San Diego Padres. Three balls and 2 strikes. Swing and a miss. He got him. 4th strikeout of the night for Dallas Keuchel, and there's 2 away in the 6th. Watch the Astros on your way by downloading the AT&T Sportsnet app from iTunes or Google Play, or visit AT&TSportsnet.com to stream on your computer. Log in with your cable account. You're all set. Available for those with AT&T Sportsnet in their TV subscription. Blackouts and territorial restrictions apply. Back to the top of the order, and David Fletcher, the only Angel to reach base tonight. He did so on a walk in the 4th inning. We're in the 6th. Swing and a miss. Well, you've seen a lot of that tonight. Angel hitters looking fastball and then getting this.
Bottom just falling out of it. Looks like a strike until about halfway there.
That ball hit to right. Reddick is there. And we go to the 7th. Astros leading 3-0. By Mercedes-Benz, and Jeff Bagwell, Danny Graves, take that. Of his 449 home runs, 49 coming against the Reds. That was number 400 on July 20th, 2003. He absolutely abused Cincinnati Reds pitching.
Except for Jeff Sullivan.
Is that right?
Yeah. He's going to yell at me for bringing that up.
154 career runs batted in against the Cincinnati Reds. Kevin Eschenfelder, Jeff Blum, Julia Morales is down on the field, sitting in for Todd Callis for the next couple of days. What's up?
I got to give Jeff Bagwell a high five twice that day because he had 399 and 400 that day.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a big day, but he did destroy that ballpark and the Cincinnati Reds.
I like the way he bat flipped and kind of showboated as he made his
Both
way
hands
around.
in the air and asked for the microphone afterwards to say a couple of words. No chance.
Never, never, never. Astros leading at 3-0. This is Kyle Tucker. Leads it off against Cam Bedrosian. Now, Tyler Skaggs didn't think he was going to last this long. He hangs in there for 6 innings of work tonight. Gave up 3 runs in his first 3 innings. Was able to quiet things down after that. Facing Kyle Tucker, and Tucker, good play by Kinsler, and he'll throw him out. Diving stop as Kinsler had to go to his left and then throws out Kyle Tucker.
Not to mention the pitching's good, but you also got some guys that are going to go out there and play some defense.
Yuli Gurriel, he had unbelievable player. This one pretty solid as well.
It's a fantastic play, taking a hit away from rookie Kyle Tucker. You got to give Ian Kinsler some credit too, not having the offensive year he's accustomed to, but still going out there and playing some pretty solid defense.
George Springer 1 for 2 with a sacrifice fly and a single and a run scored. Bedrosian making his 47th appearance of the season. Bedrosian, the 28-year-old, first round pick of the Angels back in 2010. Astros scored a run in the first, second, and third. Lead at 3-0. Strike 3 call.
Locked him up. Just frozen pizza at home plate. Good job by Cam Bedrosian. It looks like 3 pitches in the center part of the strike zone. For whatever reason, a little bit of cut on that pitch. George couldn't pull the trigger.
Bregman's 0 for 2. Did extend his on-base streak to 23 games with a first inning walk. All-Star MVP takes a breaking ball outside. Ball 1. Bregman hit a line drive right at Fletcher, the third baseman, back in the 5th inning. That's in there for a strike. Alex dealing with some history right now. With those 52 extra base hits, you think about the 20 home runs that he had, becomes the first Astro third baseman. Only joining he and Morgan Insberg, the only Astro third baseman to have 20 home runs before the All-Star break. At least 20 home runs. Foul back.
Morgan Insberg is a very powerful right-handed hitting third baseman. Power to all fields.
Popped up into the seats on the left side.
And Alex can go the other way with power, but he is more of a guy, if you give him an opportunity to turn and elevate, he will do it.
0 for 5 in his career against Bedrosian. Tyler Skaggs went 6 innings.
There's that pull side. Not playing the shift against him.
Skaggs went 6 innings, gave up the 3 earned runs, walked 3, struck out just 1. 3 runs came on 6 hits. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Here's the thing about Bregman, he will make you work a count.
Well, it's fun to watch. His initial thought process is swing. He's thinking swing first, but it's not just swing to make contact. He was deciding early that I am going to swing with intent to do damage. And if that is your game plan, is to go out there and do damage and get the barrel to the baseball and hit the ball hard, you're not going to chase pitches out of the zone unless they're absolutely filthy or in a tough count.
Got him upstairs, and that'll retire the side. 7th inning stretch time. Now let's send it to Brett Dolan and Mike Stanton at our Rooms to Go lounge.
Indeed, Kevin, very comfy at our Rooms to Go lounge.
Preston Wilson plays the left center gap at Minute Maid Park, and the guy who wrote this article makes his 2018 World Series prediction. All that and more on Astros Bases Loaded after the game on AT&T Sportsnet. Some of the Astros were busy collecting hardware during the All-Star break, and then there were some who just went fishing. Where do you think Brad Peacock went, guys?
Fishing.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
He couldn't wait to get out there. He said he had a blast. Didn't really catch much. He's pretty good at it, but it really didn't matter for him. He got to relax, spend time with family, be on that boat.
Does he know of any good bait shops down there in Florida?
One of my all-time favorites. Fenway Park. It was the fish camp, wasn't it? Andrelton Simmons 0 for 2. Just off the corner. 1 ball and 1 strike. David Fletcher led off the 4th inning for the Angels with a walk. He is the only Halo to reach base tonight. Dallas snapped that one. Just barely got to the dirt. It's 2 balls and a strike.
It's not good if you're pitching and you got to replace a divot.
Simmons grounded out to shortstop in the 1st, grounded out to 3rd in the 4th. That ball hit into left, and Kyle Tucker comes on and catches the line drive. 1 away in the 7th.
It's almost as if he was trying to play that to keep it underneath the lights. But able to take a couple of steps in and grab that one off the shoe tops.
Just a routine line drive.
Well, that's the thing. That's what I'm trying to adjust to with Kyle Tucker too. He's not lackadaisical in anything. It's just his demeanor. He's very calm. Not going to show you a lot of emotion, but he's like, hey, I caught it. I'll throw it back. You're good.
We're good.
Yep.
Here's Trout. Dallas Keuchel ahead 0-1. Trout grounded out in the 1st. Popped out into foul territory at first base in the 4th inning. He bats here in the 7th with 1 out. Line drive right back at Keuchel. And Keuchel, who leads all pitchers in assists, helps himself out there. It's time to name that Astro, brought to you by Nissan. Includes tonight 2005 Can't Teach Speed and late season edition. Who you got? That would be one Cameron Maven. 10th overall pick in 05. And a bunch of bags claimed off waivers. He's a guy that really fit in nicely in that clubhouse here in 2017.
Did a good job running the bases too. There was actually a game where he came off the DL.
That ball is off the glove of Marwin Gonzalez.
That was catchable.
Yes, it was. So right at Marwin, had to jump a little bit. That is ruled a base hit, the first hit of the night for the Angels.
That's generous because I feel.
And the fans are booing here.
How about that?
The fans erupt with boos at the official scorer's call.
Marwin didn't have to sky for that ball.
Get a good look.
He had it timed perfectly. Well, Marwin's going to get the question after the game. Do you feel you could have made a play on that? I'm sure he's going to answer yes.
So the Angels with their first hit of the game. It comes with 2 outs here in the 7th inning as Ohtani bats. Ohtani has had, to say the least, a couple of tough at-bats in this game. Struck out looking in the 2nd, struck out swinging in the 5th. Fouls that one back. That's obviously a tough call for the official score. You don't think so?
Justin Upton's wearing the home whites. Wearing the big A. No hitter against you, and that ball falls in.
Ball that looks like, and there it is, the first hit.
That was the baseball player answer. I apologize.
That's all right. So Keuchel has been masterful, absolutely phenomenal in this game. And as good as he's been in his career against the Angels, he's been even better tonight. There's a swing and a miss. And for the 3rd time tonight, Shohei Ohtani goes down swinging. But the Angels get their first hit of the night. The Astros lead 3-0.
Heavy stroll poll. We asked you a while back, so you had plenty of time to get on Twitter at ATD Sports at SW and cast your vote. Which Astros star will be the team's second half offensive MVP? Oh, look who it is. Alex Bregman with 52% of the vote. Altuve, Springer, Correa, other coming in second. Thanks for voting, guys.
Noe Ramirez becomes the third pitcher of the night tonight for the Angels. His 46th appearance in relief of Cam Bedrosian. Tyler Skaggs started with 6 innings. Bedrosian with a perfect 7th inning. And Jose Altuve leads off in the 8th. There's 4-3 with a 4.17 ERA, a whip of 1.24. Bins a breaking ball in there.
Ramirez is a fastball changeup slider guy. Doesn't throw very hard. Tops out at 90 on the fastball. Kind of a funky delivery coming in there.
He missed there and looked in. 1-1.
I want to check and see who's hitting.
Exactly.
Reigning MVP.
And on the ground, left side. Fletcher will throw him out. There's one away. 1 for 4 night tonight for Altuve with an RBI single. Will bring up Yuli Gurriel, who's 0 for 3. Lined into a double play. Another hard line drive at Andrelton Simmons and then popped out to the catcher. Well, a lot of tension in the ballpark. The story of the night, Dallas Keuchel. Line drive at Marwin. This ball hit into left. Coming on Upton, won't get there. Yuli with his first hit of the night and extends his hitting streak to 13 games. A 1-out single here in the 8th.
It's a little bit of redemption after lining into that double play in the first inning with that softly hit base hit to left field to keep the streak alive.
Astros had their first 3 runners reach base in the first inning and in the second, scored a run in each of those innings. And in the third, after 2 quick outs, a walk to Gaddis and then an RBI triple for Josh Reddick. Those have been the 3 runs in this game. They all came in the first 3 at-bats for the Astros. And now a meeting on the mound. More consultation. And here comes Charles Nagy out of the Angels dugout.
It was an interesting walk out by Martin Maldonado. Pretty deliberate. Taking his time going out there. Nobody really throwing in that. Nobody throwing in that Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim bullpen.
Whatever it was, they're hoping they figured it out. As Evan Gaddis bats with 1 out here and a runner at first base. Evan walked and scored on the aforementioned Josh Reddick RBI triple. That was the first triple of the season for Reddick.
Quickly, Alvarez up in that Angels bullpen with left-handed hitting Josh Reddick on deck.
Might be thinking about giving him a different look if I'm Mike Scioscia from the standpoint of the way he's hit lefties so far in this game.
I would say you can't play the matchup right now. He's
exactly
done well
right.
against Tyler Skaggs with a couple of knocks. Or it might be to move Marwin to that left side. But Marwin, the base hit and a walk.
Evan Gaddis facing Noe Ramirez for the first time. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. Ramirez, another local kid from right here in Los Angeles. A lot of local players.
Cal State Fullerton just down the road.
4th round pick of the Red Sox back in 2011. 2 balls and a strike.
He's kind of Sergio Romo-ish. Saw him with Tampa Bay.
Good
You know,
comparison.
not high velocity. Kind of creates a little bit of a tough arm angle to pick up and release point. Flip that slider out there. Not at a high velocity, but plenty of movement to get soft contact.
Pitch to Gaddis, another breaking ball, and that was a good one in there for a strike. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Evan, the designated hitter. The Astros will have tomorrow's game. Justin Verlander will be on the mound for Houston. It'll be a nationally televised game. We'll be back with you on Sunday as the Astros wrap up this 3-game series with the Angels. Pitch from Gaddis. Got him swinging with the ball upstairs. 2 outs.
Join the Astros this Sunday for Princess Day at Minute Maid Park. Your Princess, this is our Buddies membership. I apologize. I think we had Princess Sunday. But you can go out there and get yourself a Buddies membership. It is $25 plus tax. Kids 12 and under. Go out there to astros.com/buddies. Brought to you by BBVA Compass.
You know, princesses can be buddies as well. So Alvarez is going to come in as Noe Ramirez. It'll be lefty on lefty here. Ramirez will exit. Set up the new pitcher when we return. 2 outs. The Astros lead at 3-0 in the 8th. Venezuelan born, 4-3, that 2.66 ERA, a whip of 1.23, 38 punch outs, and 14 walks. He'll face Josh Reddick, lefty on left.
Primarily fastball slider against left-handed hitters. Josh Reddick has had himself a good ball game so far, but in the 2nd inning, after getting on a base hit, went back to tag and recognized as soon as the second baseman Kinsler caught that with a little bit of a back pedal, he took off. That sprint speed to home at 28.7 feet per second, rolling pretty good. But another savvy veteran move by Josh Reddick.
Picking him up and putting him down in a hurry. 2 for 3 with a triple, single. Drove in a run and scored on that aforementioned sacrifice fly. Ball misses inside, ball 1. So Reddick with that single in the 2nd, and he would turn around to score. Then he had that RBI triple. Big hit in this game, and let's face it, they're all big when it comes down to a 3-0 game right now. But that drove in Gaddis with 2 outs. So the 2 outs and nobody on. Gaddis drew the walk, and then it was Reddick who tripled down the line, fouls this one off. Reddick, a .282 hitter coming into this game against left-handed pitching. An OPS of 790. Buehler's at first base. He's singled. There he goes. That ball popped up on the infield. Should be an easy play for Ian Kinsler. And it is. We go to the bottom of the 8th. The Astros lead it 8-0. They take on the Rangers. 10,000 fans in attendance will receive a Lone Star Series t-shirt presented by Germania Insurance. For tickets and info, visit astros.com/promotions. In the 8th, it's 3-0 Astros. So we go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Dallas Keuchel, well, he has spun a gem tonight. Did not allow a hit until 2 outs in the 7th inning. A ball that I think if you ask Marwin Gonzalez, he'll tell you 10 times out of 10 he should have caught that. But Ian Kinsler leads it off 0 for 2. Foul out. There's a fly ball into left field. And the first solid single of the game for the Angels.
So we finally got to that changeup off Dallas Keuchel. Kinsler staying on it, 77 miles an hour.
Wasn't a bad pitch either. A little down and away.
Did a very good job.
So a runner at first now for Jeffrey Marte. Now I'm wondering if Keuchel can clear his head a little bit from not having to think about what might have been and what really has happened so far.
Well, it affects A.J. Hinch and how he manages the rest of the game. Now, with no hits, he's thinking, I'm leaving Dallas Keuchel in until he does give up that hit. Now, with that hit and a second hit being given up, Colin McHugh is getting loose out there in that Astros bullpen. But now A.J.'s thinking, he's starting to count backwards in this ball game like we've heard him talk about it. How many outs do I have left to get out of this game with the W?
Marte 0 for 2. He's fly to right in both of his at-bats in this game. Keuchel falls behind 2-0. Colin McHugh starts to warm up in the Astros bullpen. 42,422 on hand for this one tonight. 7th meeting of the season between the Astros and the Los Angeles Angels. And there's a swing and a high bouncer at Bregman. They'll have one play, and that's at first, and there's one away. Runner moves into scoring position. Martin Maldonado was a .318 hitter with runners in scoring position. You know, we're so used to seeing guys over 400 in that situation.
Yeah, it's unfair.
318 is pretty solid.
Yeah, Yeah, the Astros second best in Major League Baseball with that RISP number that we're talking about at 284. And that's because you've got two or three guys in that lineup at 380 plus, usually well over 400.
Maldonado's 0 for 2. Astros on top 3-0. Scored in each of their first 3 innings. Been quiet offensively since then. But a lot of noise on the mound for the Astros, and Dallas Keuchel and the way he has worked in this one tonight. The 30-year-old in his 21st start of the season and his best start of 2018. Continuing a fantastic run. His last 6 starts coming into this game, 4-0 with a 2.17 ERA.
Pitching with conviction and confidence in the pitches that he has. Working well with Max Stassi, too.
The 1-1. Fouled back ahead of the count, 1-2. And Keuchel has lived in this game 0-1, 1-2. It seems like he's been there all night.
That's a beautiful number.
Big part of that starting rotation. Good bullpen as well. You always look at where the second place team is. I mean, that's 2/10 of a run difference between they and the Dodgers. Keuchel up to 95 pitches. Verlander starts tomorrow. Lance McCullers will go on Sunday. Is on to Denver for the Astros. Runner in scoring position here for Martin Maldonado. Ian Kinsler with a solid single to lead off here in the 8th. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Foul back. Interesting thing tonight, Dallas has only had 6 ground ball outs for one of the guys that is really as good as they get, second best in that ground ball rate to McCullers. You mentioned it a couple of times, pitching backwards, throwing breaking balls and fastball counts, fastballs, and you might anticipate a breaking ball.
Been in the zone quite a bit. Just makes it tough. That's the pitch right there, the changeup that he's really emphasized in the last maybe 5 or 6 starts.
And Brent Strom calling down to the bullpen. As we showed you a moment ago, Colin McHugh is up and working. That man has been in control. 17 pitch 4th inning was his highest pitch count of any inning in this game.
That was beautifully done, inning by inning.
Yeah, 2 single-digit pitch innings. A throw to third, and the ball gets away. But Marwin made the decision. I'm not sure if he had a good grip on the baseball, and Kinsler is safe at third.
That's an out.
Yep.
Just pick it up, throw it over to first base, trying to force the issue and get that lead runner right there. And I'm not sure Alex Bregman's in the vicinity, but I almost wonder if he was anticipating Marwin going to first base. Actually, Alex was in a pretty good position. That throw hitting the back of Ian Kinsler, but in a 3-0 game, go ahead and get that out across the diamond. With that error, all of a sudden you're adding more pitches to the pitch count of Dallas Keuchel.
Maldonado reaches on the fielder's choice. And now the tying run comes to the plate. Jabari Blash, who has struck out twice in this game, once looking, once swinging. Bats here in the bottom of the 8th inning with runners at first and third. Astros leading 3-0. The 0-1. 1-1 on pitch number 101 of the night for Dallas Keuchel.
Wide to right, Reddick over. Reddick makes the play. Here comes the play to the plate, the throw, and he's safe. Sacrifice fly as Kinsler just got in. A good throw from Reddick, a strong throw from Reddick, but maybe a little high and up the line. And the Angels were on the board.
That would have been the third out of the inning. But Josh Reddick gave it a pretty good effort, knowing he has to go over there and make that play. And Josh Reddick is not a guy who's going to give up on a play. Unleashes a pretty good throw to home plate, but with him moving so far to his left, unable to square up his shoulder and get a better throw out of it.
And Dallas Keuchel, his night will be over. Really a strong throw considering all of his momentum going to his left. But Dallas Keuchel's night is over, and a magnificent night it was. I'll tell you who's coming in for the Astros when we come back. Season. He has been nothing short of fantastic out of the bullpen. He tries to buckle things down here in this 8th inning with a runner at first base and 2 outs.
Yeah, he's got to pick up his good buddy and former rotation mate, Dallas Keuchel, who pitched extremely well this evening. But Colin possibly snubbed out of that All-Star game, looking to continue a great season. Seeing the velocity be very good for Colin McHugh. Also that snapdragon and the slider.
Ball hit the left, 1 pitch. And that is the 3rd out of the inning as Kyle Tucker makes the catch, and that'll retire the side. We go to the 9th. The Astros lead it 3-1.
It's brought to you by Toyota. Let's go places. By Arctic. Overbuilt, not overpriced. And by McDonald's. I'm loving it. I'm loving what the Astros saw tonight from Dallas Keuchel. A no-hitter into the 7th inning. And now Hansel Robles comes in to pitch for the Los Angeles Angels. He becomes the 5th pitcher of the night for Mike Scioscia's team.
Throws hard, averages 95.5 miles an hour on that fastball. The changeup at 90. Also has a slider around 88 miles an hour. 35 strikeouts in those 31 innings.
Well, he'll face Marwin Gonzalez to lead it off here in the 9th inning. Astros looking to pick up where they left off on the road before the break and after the break. Astros went into the All-Star break as far as their road schedule is concerned with that 2-game sweep in Arlington. They are 32-14 away from Minute Maid Park. A win tonight would be the 65th win of the season. They would be 65-35. It's ball 1. It would be the first team since the '68 Cardinals to win 65 of their first 100 games after winning the World Series.
It's all right.
It's quite solid. Dallas Keuchel, his best start of the season tonight, wouldn't you agree? Not even close, maybe. 2 hits, 1 run.
Yeah, that's pretty solid. Could have been better than that, amazingly enough.
Walked 1 and struck out 5. The run that he is on right now. 6 starts before this one. ERA of 2.17. That's obviously going to go down even more when you take into consideration his last 7 starts, including this one. He hits that one high on the left side. Will it make the seats? It will. Marwin extended his hitting streak to 5 games back in the 2nd inning. He wasn't exactly sure. I'm not sure he knew where that baseball was. He's 3/4 of the way down the line. Now makes the long walk back. Also, Robles takes a little time to get on the mound, doesn't he?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that skit coming out of the bullpen for Hansel Robles was impressive.
His time, sweet time.
Perfectly good Pearl on the mound. He didn't want any part of it. Asked the umpire for a new baseball too.
It was a 98-mile-an-hour pitch. So Robles making his 13th appearance this season. He started the season with the Mets. 16 appearances with New York, and now 12. This will be his 13th with the Angels. That's outside. He walks the leadoff man, Marwin Gonzalez, in the 9th. So Marwin on board with a leadoff walk.
We got some league leaders for you, brought to you by Houston Methodist. A lot of the good numbers we talk about with the Astros, run differentials in road games. They are at +276 in those games. And it's amazing. Since 1900, yes. The only team better than them, 1939 New York Yankees. We talk about all the numbers and how good these guys are on the road. And then you add the pitching to it, because the offense really comes alive in those gray unis.
One thing to winning games with that 32-14 record on the road. There's another thing to winning by an average of nearly 3 runs per game.
Yeah.
Max Stassi singled back in the 2nd inning, popped up and grounded out. Robles was waived by the Mets earlier this season. Picked up off waivers, a waiver claim by the Angels, who have had their at least fair share of injuries. It's been a disappointing season, to say the least, for the Angels. Come into this game a game over 500 at 49-48. Outside a ball, 2-1. Keuchel started, went 7 2/3 of 2-hit, 1-run baseball. Tyler Skaggs got the start for the Los Angeles Angels and really battled his way through. Astros got to him early, but he was able to steady a wobbly ship. Worked 6 innings of ball, and it's big in the first. I think it's big somewhat in the first game of a series because you can kind of get that starter in game 1. It can kind of put you on your ear as far as the bullpen is concerned. I mean, they've used a lot of guys out of the pen, but haven't had to use one for a whole lot of innings.
That's the Angel way.
Oh, absolutely.
They go out there and play matchups, and they get a lot of guys loose out of that bullpen, and that's why they're picking guys up. But not to make any excuses for the Angels, but they have had issues trying to keep guys in their starting rotation healthy. That's why they've gone through guys in their rotation, but it also puts a lot of stress on that bullpen because you're using some of those guys sooner and more often than you'd like.
Stassi hits this one to right, could be trouble. It's dying, and it is dropped. Thought he was going to get there and still can't make the play at second base. Blash, a diving try. He had it for a moment, but popped out of his glove. Well, Jabari Blash, to his credit, he had a long way to go to try to make this play.
I thought it was dropping for sure, and then out of nowhere, Blash comes flying in, and
he overdove on it. The ball looked like it almost went over his glove.
he was anticipating it being a little bit further out in front of him. You could see the movement of the head kind of took his eye off the ball.
Ball went over the top of his glove and hit his right arm. So now 2 runners on. Marwin with a walk and Max Stassi with a single. 2 on, nobody out here in the 9th. Brings up Kyle Tucker. Tucker 0 for 3 with a couple of ground outs.
Let's see if Robles will challenge young Kyle Tucker, and if Kyle Tucker can get a hold of one. There it is. Challenged him. 97.
0-1. No balls and 2 strikes.
Good pitch, change up, 90 miles an hour. That might be some of the issue with Robles, is being able to get ahead in counts and use some of that secondary stuff that he has. 14 walks in 31 innings.
21-year-old standing in and fouling this one off. Youngest player in the American League.
Some more run differential numbers for you through 100 games by a defending champion. The Yankees from the 30s in there, and then the 2018 Astros, and this is in all of Major League history. Plus 190. How do you get to plus 230 and 248? Is the other team even showing up?
It is hard to figure, isn't it?
I mean,
plus 248. Hector Rondon warming in the Astros bullpen, or at least pacing himself in the Astros bullpen. Two runners on for Tucker. That's outside. The ball 1-2.
those two Yankee teams that we keep showing you in the 30s, both repeat World Series champions.
Two balls and two strikes, and after getting ahead 2-0, now Tucker back in the count at 2-2. Robles got ahead 0-2, and now it's 2-2. 3-1, the Astros on top. The ball up the middle, fielded by Simmons, steps on the bag and throws over. He's 2 away.
Shackleton Simmons, he is as good as it gets at doing just that.
Good hands. He's got extremely good hands. He's also got great footwork also. And a lot of the guys that you talk about who are the infielding gurus and teach it a lot, and you also talk to the guys who played very good in the infield, they always talk about their feet being in a good position to create soft hands. But Andrelton Simmons on the move still does a good job of reading hops also. Did a good job of getting a nice easy hop on that play, securing it, making sure he got that first out, and then throwing across for the double play.
Be hard pressed to ever find a time where shortstop play was any better than it is right now.
Yeah, true. Both offensively and defensively.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I'm talking about
the whole package.
All the way around.
Well, and for me, it just reminds me of the mid to late 90s when the Nomar Garcia Parras, Alex Rodriguez's, some of those guys coming up. Derek Jeter.
Did he go? He did not. Fans didn't like it. It was really interesting on the ball that was hit to Marwin. An audible, the boos that rang out here.
That was odd. I didn't anticipate that.
They were seeing what they were hoping for a no-hitter. And
well, they recognized how well Dallas Keuchel was going.
Absolutely. And the boos rained down. And the official score called that a base hit.
That's not too often you hear the home team get booed for getting a hit.
Well, Ian Kinsler would later in the 8th inning, would lead off the 8th inning with a solid single to left. But still, it was an interesting scenario. What?
Yeah, this whole what-if game.
Well, that's
if he does catch that, Shohei Ohtani's leading off and Kinsler's hitting second that inning, who knows? But the clean hit kind of takes your mind off the questionable hit.
Yes.
Just a little bit.
It's inside. I'm trying to think if there was an obvious one, so I won't ask this question, but I can't think of one. How many no-hitters did you play in?
Against or for?
Either way.
Well, the two that jumped to my mind are the one in New York against the Yankees, the sixth pitcher,
yeah.
And then the other one that jumps to my mind that really did not enjoy was after the hurricane in 2008, where we had to go to Milwaukee and face Zambrano.
Well, didn't Ted Lilly almost do it the next day?
Yeah, we went there for 2 games and they got one hit.
Zambrano was nasty. Ted Lilly, solid pitcher, but not the kind of guy that you would think would have no-hit stuff.
Yeah, he had good big league stuff to get outs, but he took advantage of a situation.
Yes, he did. The runners at first and third after Springer draws the walk brings up Alex Bregman. Hitless tonight, did reach base in the first inning, extending his streak to 23 consecutive games in which he's reached base. Strike one. Am I missing something? Because the fans here, they're doing the flashlights with the...
It's a portable cellular talking device.
Yeah. They're doing their flashlights on their cell phones.
Yes.
Is this a regular
I think
thing
this. I think this is the
I haven't been here
left coast version of the wave. At least that's what I'm claiming to
Very
know.
tech savvy of them.
Yeah.
There you go. Feel like you're back at your day Journey concert, right?
Right on. Yeah. Except it was actually that Zippo.
Burning your thumb, right?
Yep. It was well worth it. Don't stop believing.
Never did. Bregman fouling that one back. Astros leading this one 3-1. Is that what you call the electronic talking devices?
Yeah, portable cellular talking device with a light on it.
Isn't that amazing to think, as opposed to not portable? Astros looking for their third straight road win. Has to go 33-14, 65-35, and this is the 100th game of the season. fouls that one away. Now, A.J. Hinch talked about seeing the Cubs after they had won the World Series, and whether it's a lag or whatever the case may be, a hangover from the year before. And he talked from the very beginning about he did not expect to see that happen, and it certainly has not. Astros have, let's face it, they have lost some games that they probably should not have lost, but they've also won some games that you think, you know, maybe you shouldn't have won. And so it all evens out in the end.
Alex Bregman's responsible for 2 of those games.
Eric Hosmer, pop fly, that'll retire the side. We go to the bottom of the 9th. The Astros with a 2-run lead. He has been and better in 2018. 7 2/3 innings of 1-run, 2-hit baseball.
Still pretty remarkable to think about what could have been for Dallas Keuchel. A drop line drive, an error behind him on a fielder's choice, but he pitched extremely well. Again, didn't let those things phase him. Continued to go out there. 7 2/3, 1 earned run on there. What I think was most impressive about him was the ability to get the swinging strike, but he also had all 4 of his pitches going in the zone and just off the edges to create the swing and miss. But he was doing a good job of getting ahead early. He had 19 called strikes, and that tells me that he's doing a good job of getting ahead early, because a lot of these hitters are trying to be patient against him. It backfired on him and only led to 2 hits.
Well, the changeup was the key pitch tonight for Dallas Keuchel. Hector Rondon comes on for this save opportunity. 1.57 ERA. This is high a ball.
Just another note, talking about what you're talking about with the changeup. He got 6 swinging strikes on that changeup. That was very good for Dallas Keuchel. That means there's a lot of deception in that pitch and a good change in the velocity.
What was it as a hitter that made a changeup effective? Because I'm thinking about arm speed and things like that, and their way of selling it, making it look like a fastball coming out, but yet having the lack of velocity and obviously falling off the table from time to time.
Yeah, you got to have the movement, and the deception is created with the same arm speed. If you can throw your fastball and changeup with the same arm action coming through release point, that's where you create the deception, because it's telling the hitter, your arm action is telling my mind that you're coming with the fastball. And then with your release, it comes out a changeup with the change in velocity. You also got to pick a good count to do it in. You don't want to telegraph when you use that pitch. And sometimes throwing it in fastball counts gets that hitter off balance.
Rondon misses there. It's 3 balls and 1 strike to Andrelton Simmons, 0 for 3. Rondon, his 38th appearance of the season. 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Pretty long stretch in between outings for Hector Rondon with that all-star break. He was out there last on the 13th against Detroit, where he picked up that 8th save.
Ball hit right at Bregman, backs up on it, plays it nicely and throws across. Strong throw gets Simmons, and there's one away in the 9th inning. Mike Trout, 0 for 3. A quiet 0 for 3. Think about him, he can get loud in a hurry. 308 hitter now in the season after that 0 for 3. Strike one. One of the several solo home runs in that All-Star game. Oh, and 2.
Good sliders.
Get that right. 2.75 ERA, second best to the Yankees in Major League Baseball. Astros bullpen leads the major leagues in WHIP. Walks per 9 innings. Second in ERA, as you saw. Opponent batting average. Misses upstairs. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Almost a shift being played against Mike Trout up the middle and to that pull side. A lot of batted balls in play to that third base side.
3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out in the 9th. Astros leading 3-1. The pitch from Rondon. Fouled back. Count holds at 3-2. Deep breath and ready to go to work. Strike 3 called. Trout took 2 steps towards first base and he is rung up, and there's 2 outs in the 9th.
Fuel. 98 down and away, perfectly dotted.
No chance.
Sosha didn't like it. Mike Trout didn't like it. What is an absolutely perfect pitch down and away.
But now 2 outs and Justin Upton takes strike 1. Trout an 0 for 4 night tonight. Struggled in those 20-plus games going into the break, and the Astros have kept him quiet tonight. In there for a strike. It was Upton who hit the soft liner at Marwin. Marwin could not field. It was ruled a hit, which was the first hit of the game. That was after 2 outs in the 7th inning. Spoiled the no-hit bid for Dallas Keuchel. Now 0-2. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Time is called. The 1-2 pitch. Strike 3 called, and that's the ball game. And the Astros, behind an outstanding performance by Dallas Keuchel, get their 65th win of the season. Houston wins it 3-1. They're dancing in the outfield as Houston winning the opener of this 3-game series over the Angels. The man of the night, though, Dallas Keuchel, 6 2/3 of no-hit baseball in this one tonight as Houston gets the win. We'll be back to wrap things up in just a moment.